So I changed jobs recently, and
Oh.
I have a new coworker that very much loves anime. Very much loves anime and gaming. So this is kind of like anime adjacent because it's not really anime related. But the gaming awards happened recently, and me and her were talking about it. And she was so shocked that apparently the Final Fantasy fandom is angry at the moment. Like, angry enough to where they're sending threats to the creators of Final Fantasy VII Remake because they decided to possibly make a ship canon and it ruins
What?
other people's ships. And she's baffled that this is happening. And I'm just confused how she's an anime fan and not aware of this is happening.
I I didn't know this was happening. This is happening?
This is happening.
This is happening?
Yeah. The latest trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake for the second part. There's a scene with Cloud and Aerith apparently possibly about to kiss. And all the Tifa Cloud shippers are angry.
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh. Oh god. That's one ship group you do not want to make mad.
I
Oh,
agree.
no.
I agree, but I'm just like, she's like, I can't believe people would actually do this. I've never heard of this before. And I'm like, you watch anime. You interact with anime communities online. How is this the first time you heard of this happening? Because this is like it's still stupid. It's really stupid, but definitely not the first time it's happened.
Oh yeah, it's not the first time this has happened, but I didn't know it was happening with Final Fantasy.
I only knew about it from her, so I don't even know how big of a scale it is. I'm assuming based on the context of it, it's pretty big scale because that fandom's insane. But I guess I'm just more into I stay away from
fandom's
Seven.
crazy enough to broadcast Tifa to the Italian government.
Yeah. True.
What?
Do you not know of this?
Yeah, do you not see that?
I have been in a rock and a hard place.
Okay.
So no, I have not.
This was with the release of the first part of the remake, I believe.
I think it was after that. I don't remember what year it was.
It was after it, but it was part of that like wave of fandom or whatever from it. And yeah, the what it was like the summit or something, like some big government summit, and they put was it Tifa Prawn?
Lockhart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very adult content.
Yeah.
Live into like the Zoom meeting of like Italian government officials.
Yep.
That's hysterical.
I can't believe you haven't heard about that. It happened so long ago. Like I forgot about it until Lettuce brought it up.
I'm so far removed from Final Fantasy though that a lot of that stuff just misses me.
I mean, I'm kind of the same because I like Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy. I hate 7 and I hate everything after 10. So I just genuinely don't talk about Final Fantasy because they're either 14 players or they're 7 enjoyers, and I'm neither. So I sit in my little corner of liking Final Fantasy 9 and every other game that exists.
I've played maybe 3 hours of a Final Fantasy title and never got past the first mission of Kingdom Hearts. So
yeah, I've never touched a Final Fantasy game. I've contemplated it, but I've never touched one.
No, my god. Shio, I'm surprised you hadn't even attempted 15 because that's just like the boy band bachelor party one.
That's the one I played like 3 hours of.
It was bad. I finished it. I hated it.
Oh, I just like it looks pretty, but I'm just not invested, I guess, in it.
I think I would like 16 based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I think I did play like 30 minutes of a Final Fantasy game one time. Okay. That was it. But
30 minutes
don't remember a thing of it.
30 minutes is like half the prologue of a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, I didn't get very far.
Now
that I think about it.
15 is very much just pretty. Like, a lot of the Final Fantasy games, at least the ones I enjoy, because 9's my favorite, and it's essentially one of the cutest romance stories in Final Fantasy, and I love it for it. But a lot of them are just like visual novels with battle sequences. So.
I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Anyways, enough anime adjacent. let's talk about actual anime, I guess.
We talk about anime here?
No.
No.
The last couple of fucking
Ew.
episodes, all Shio's wanted to talk about is fucking Honkai Star Rail, so maybe not.
What? You say that, but I haven't touched the game in like 4 months.
I've also been free of the Honkai curse/addiction
I'm glad I
since
have taste.
like Shade dropped or whatever. The guy with like the guy who is edgy, which is like a lot of them, but
Is it
the
that-
like the super edgy one.
all of them?
The fuck is the super edgy one?
He has like all black and he's like named Blade or Shade or something.
Oh.
Oh, isn't that one of the ones that
Edgy?
looks like another one? Isn't that in my
All I
tier
know
list?
is he's pretty much all like in all black. It was
Yeah,
right before
I
Kafka.
know Blade. Yeah, I know who Blade is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have y'all looked at
haven't played since then.
Have y'all seen the beta test for the newest Hoyoverse game? Zenless Zone Zero?
I don't think Zenless Zone Zero looks very interesting.
What do you
That's
mean?
just
It
me.
looks so good! I watched the playstyle for it, and like the battle sequences look so fucking fun. They remind me of like fighting game sequences. So it feels like it's gonna be more fight heavy and puzzle heavy and less like open worldy, which I enjoy.
Mm.
So the characters look so good. I want Wolf Daddy.
My issue with Hoyo games is a lot of the time I find the story very uninteresting, even if the voiceover is good.
Oh,
I had to drop Genshin because I cannot deal with the story like early. It's so
I have
bad.
enjoyed the story, but I play it for the characters, which is why I wasn't
Okay.
able to get into Star Rail, because Star Rail's characters are mid at best.
That's fair. I really like the performances in Star Wars.
Eh.
I like Star Rail. I liked it because it's turn based, but mostly, but Genshin, I like the story more in Genshin a little bit. But I'm decided I'm not gonna touch Genshin until the story's complete.
Oh no, I'm still playing Genshin. I just don't stream it. I have given up on streaming that game. Mostly because, well, initially I stopped streaming it because I had people that were coming in and trying to tell me how to play the game. Now I have people coming into my chat telling me, "Oh, do you play Star Rail? Oh, do you play Star Rail? Oh, do you play Star Rail?" And I'm like, am I playing Star Rail right now?
Star Rail treats its community better than Genshin does, though, so I'm glad it's getting a following.
Is it?
Even though it's the same like parent company.
Yeah, it does kind of like that. You got a lot more rewards, and then you can go back and do events that you miss and everything too.
I don't really care about that because I don't really do events anyway. So
yeah, but you get rewards from events that you can use to get characters and stuff.
Me, I don't really like. When I was told that they are implementing a system where like the daily resin equivalent would build up or something over time instead of where Genshin rewards you for logging in daily, I was like, nah, fuck Star Rail. I don't like that. I don't want somebody who touches the game once every 6 months to get the same benefits as someone who plays daily. I think that's a bit unfair. I think that's kind of cheap. So I'd rather Genshin not have that than Star Rail. But
I have the opposite take on it, which I think games need to respect their player base's time more often. I think that's one of my biggest turnoffs with games like Genshin and gacha games as a whole. Is in the end they're money printing machines, which is fine. Every company needs to make money, but the way I view it is, the game needs to have an enjoyable gameplay loop that I can hop on, play, get off, not touch the game for 3 months, and still have fun the next time.
I mean, I do. I think it's a matter of perspective of what you find fun in the game, because I don't play it daily. But if I was someone that was playing it daily, I would want more benefits than somebody who does play it just once a month or once every 3 months. I don't think it's fair for someone who only touches it once in 3 months to have the same benefits as someone that does dedicate the time into it. It's not necessarily saying you have to dedicate the time into it, because I don't, but I know that if I want those rewards, I would, but I don't really care for them. So it's like, if I feel like it, I'll do it. If I don't, I don't. And then I suffer for it later. But some people have the time to do it, and some people want to invest the time into it, and they do.
Yeah.
I will say though, with the refreshing of like the materials and whatnot, in not just like in Honkai, but that's just like a very common thing in a lot of like mobile games or gacha games. So to me, it doesn't really feel like a reward or like rewarding longtime players, because you can still run out just as quickly and then you're playing a waiting game still. And a lot of the people who play casually, who log in once every 3 months, they're not going to stick around for it to refill.
Yeah.
So it really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really benefit the long time. I mean, the short term players.
I mean, it's not benefiting, but it's more like you don't lose from not doing it, which I don't think is entirely fair for those that do invest the time into it. Like, it's different for like monetary thing. Like, if you spend money on the game, and you can get better stuff, that's the whole other thing. Because there's a whole, what do you call it? Contingency against like, oh, people that are pay to win or whatever. But I've never felt Genshin is one of those games where like you can do better if you pay money. You just get further ahead. Like, you don't get specific things only because you pay money for them. You can still get them free to play. You just have to invest time instead of money. Yeah. Which is fine, but not everybody can do that. And I feel like it's a step process. Whereas like, okay, you don't have the time or you don't spend the money into it, you're going to be down here. You invest the time, you're going to be here. If you invest the money, you're going to be up here or on par with the people that invest more time than you. But
right,
I don't think somebody who doesn't invest the time or the money should be on the same level, if that makes sense. Like, I think if you just like you casually play it, you can still enjoy the game, but you just casually play it. You're not going to be, I guess, taking this into somebody who's been addicted to Apex for the past week. I would be very upset if somebody invested less time into Apex and got more rewards for it. Like, it's like getting salty at people I know that just started up Apex and pulled their heirloom shards in the first in the first like 10 levels, and then I'm here and like I literally got the pity pool for my heirloom shards to get Loba's heirloom. Like, it's a little unfair, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that like Apex should give you boxes for not playing. Apex gives you boxes for playing. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. I'm still half dead.
No, I definitely see where you're coming from.
Okay. Anyways, lettuce.
Anime.
Yes. Which
Yes.
anime did you prepare for us? Because I gave you
I'm gonna be either your favorite guest or your least favorite guest, because One Piece has consumed me.
I'm okay with this, so just be careful on spoilers for Shio.
I'm still.
So I am 100%. Okay. So I'll try and keep everything away from Thriller Bark, except for saying you're about to meet a character who's going to cause you a lot of pain.
Oh, I already know about that one though. I already know about that. I did read that already because I read that in like Shonen Jump magazine.
Which one?
I know what happens in Marineford.
Oh no, not that one.
Okay.
No.
You're about to meet a character at the end of Thriller Bark who's going to cause you a lot of pain, and you're going to swear to hate them until the end of your days. And then a little while later, you're going to hate the author for the emotions that this human being, Eiichiro Oda, is able to make you feel.
Oh, it's okay. I feel things, so I never hate someone for making me feel things. Actually, no, I lied. I hate Nicholas Sparks. That's a lie. Never mind.
Wait, is Nicholas Sparks the one that did the Notebook?
Yeah, but that's not why.
Okay, I was just clarifying it. I was thinking of the right person because
Yeah, that's the right person.
Okay. That is the only thing I really know them for. So
I was like, there's never been an author who's like made like whose work has made me so upset that I actually started hating them. No, I lied. There was Nicholas.
No, I joke. I love Oda. I'm just baffled that he was able to make me take a character who is one of my most hated characters in all of fiction and turn him into one of my top 10 in the entire series in
fair.
the span of like 2 months.
Honestly, valid.
Valid.
Yeah, that's a very incredible thing to be able to do. It's like if you took um who's like a character. It's like if you took Joffrey Baratheon and redeemed him. It's like how?
Who?
Game of Thrones.
That's the level I hated this character.
That didn't help me at all.
Okay. Who's like, you know, who's a character that like everybody dislike? I live under a rock.
Obviously, I live under a bigger rock.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's like if you redeemed Shao Tucker.
Shao Tucker did nothing wrong.
Okay, I see.
As someone that has cosplayed his daughter and his dog at the same time, Shao Tucker did nothing wrong. You forgot who you're talking
malfunctioning. I'm malfunctioning.
It sounded like pain, and then it sounded like pleasure, and I'm very concerned.
It's all pain. It's all pain. Oh no.
Lettuce is now regretting coming on the podcast.
I never said I had regrets. I get to shamelessly plug myself. Stuff.
Fair.
No. So like, what specifically do you want me to talk about that I have prepared? Do you have like? Because I could talk One Piece for this entire 2-hour podcast, and I don't think that's something we want to do.
I mean, that's literally all I talked about over Christmas because that was the only thing my cousin and I had in common was One Piece.
We honestly could, as long as we stay away from anything past Filler Bar, because I'm totally fine with that. Because I honestly haven't heard Shio's opinions on like everything that she's read up until this point either, because we haven't talked about it much, and I don't think you and I have talked One Piece much either. I just knew you were a fan of it, so
I don't think we have, because when I first met you, God knows how long ago, I was very far from catching up. The last year I really dedicated to catching up because I got to I stopped at Skypiea for a little while, and I stopped at the end of Alabasta for a little while, and then I got to Water 7. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna catch up now. It's been years, and I knew a lot of what was gonna happen because I'd watch YouTube videos, just have it in the background because uh I like One Piece YouTube. It's why I started making One Piece videos, although I'm pivoting. And the community on One Piece YouTube, especially like the small creators, are all so awesome.
Honestly, aside from the part of the community that's really bad at spoiling, the One Piece community is actually not that bad compared to most other
no.
animes.
As someone who's like been in the Annie Twitch space that kind of evolved into the VTuber community, for years, finding the One Piece YouTube community was so like nice because there's like drama, but I'm not deep into it. Like I was more active in it during the summer, then my semester started, and I kind of became a ghost. But it's there's so many cool small One Piece creators, and the bridges between in the One Piece community seem to be like it seems very close knit. The bridges like are always forming, and it's just really cool to see. And it's not a headache to deal with, and I like it.
I agree. I mean, that's kind of what initially brought me into that community, the community that we all met in initially, was because Briggs All Day Anime was doing One Piece content, and I have always been watching One Piece. I've watched it since the Four Kids days, but I've always had like burst into it because I would watch an entire arc and then I would catch up and then I would want things to build up and then I forget about it for a little bit and I come back and I binge 2 arcs and then I let it sit for a little bit. And I was in the middle of binging God, I think I was Zo arc when I found one of Briggs's videos and he was doing stuff with Nux and all that good stuff. And I found my way into that community. So like One Piece essentially is the whole reason I've met both of you. So
Hey, I'll take it.
Well, technically, well,
I mean I found Jordan through Briggs, so and I found you through Jordan. So
it's really weird to look back on that whole community because not in like they're all weird because they're all great. Everybody you've interacted with,
they are
so
we are all weird.
They are
we
also very weird. Yes,
we're all weird. But it's so weird because like it's morphed so much. You know, so many people have come, so many people have gone. And it's in a completely different beast today, and I found myself kind of wandering into like it's weird. I should have made the distinction so much longer ago. Like 3 years ago it really changed, maybe 2 years ago. But I've always kind of blended the Annie Twitch that I met y'all in with the VTuber community. And they're just so completely they're such completely separate entities now.
But
when they started, they were so similar.
I had the opposite where I've always separated the VTuber community from that community because I met that community as an anime community. And then I stepped away from that community to step more into the VTuber community. And it's only recently that I'm starting to see more overlap with like, and most of that overlap's coming from, I believe, Truck-kun, Truck-chan. Truck-kun is somebody different.
It.
Yeah. But it's like
Evan
people
kind of overlapped it.
Yeah. But there are people that I've met through the VTuber community that had no idea who any of these AniTubers were, who are now collabing with Truck, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting, and it's cool. It's really nice to see like them merge together and stuff, and see like other communities merge. But it's like I always saw them as separate, so now it's only recently that I'm seeing them as kind of somewhat the same, I guess. But I guess Truck is also kind of doing her own thing as well. She's kind of separated from that main.
Truck is doing some great stuff. A lot of the people, you know, are just doing really good work, and it's the thing that sucks is like seeing people kind of phase out or burn out, not stream as much because I don't stream anymore. I prefer YouTube. I don't like Twitch as a platform.
That's fair.
That's just like personal preference. I like the pre-recorded format. But every now and then, you know, you'll get on Twitch and you'll see like last live X months ago, and it's like, man.
Yeah. There's some people I miss seeing and interacting with, and like I guess we can mention this like because Shio didn't get to meet up with you, but I saw you at Anime Expo.
Yeah, that was cool because we hadn't talked for a while.
Yeah, and seeing like Katie and Dono and all them as well was just like I've seen Dono's videos come up on my timeline every now and then, but I can't remember the last time I've seen either of them stream.
Yeah, both of them have been just out of it.
Yeah. And Shio is off doing her manga hauls Anime Expo. We tried.
Dono has been trying to rekindle his enjoyment. He's been doing a lot of story time stuff on YouTube actually. He hasn't been posting as often cuz school's been getting to him.
Right.
But he's been doing his stuff is doing real good work. Like he's always been a natural. But his storytime stuff, because he's teaching himself animation for it, which is insane to me.
Oh wow, that is insane. In a good
So
way.
I ended up getting him a drawing pad for Christmas. So
Oh,
hopefully
nice.
he's able to put that to use because he's been cooking.
That'll be
But
interesting to see what he comes up with then.
yeah, although he did make a new channel, he's not TK Dono anymore.
Oh, I'll have to
He's
find it then.
abandoned the past. Yeah.
Sad.
Now he's a legend.
Okay, we all have to be reborn
Yeah.
at some point.
I was gonna
Legend
say,
of Dono.
I'd never change, but I did rebrand, so never mind.
I do. I finally watched Madoka.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
So is that what your avatar's a reference to, or am I tripping?
Mine? Whose?
Yes.
Whose?
Or is yours a Digimon? Yours reminds me of Q-Bear.
Okay.
Fine, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Shio's dying, but I have been called a Pokemon, so this is very much a compliment.
I knew it wasn't.
So...
I knew it wasn't a Pokemon. I know you.
No, I'm a carbuncle summon from Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah. Shio's fucking dying, but I'm like fucking giddy. This man called me a fucking Digimon. I'm so fucking happy. For once, I didn't call it a fucking Pokemon.
I called you QB, and that just makes me laugh.
I mean, QB is technically a carbuncle, I believe. So
maybe, yeah.
I believe so.
Know, but I just, it's funny.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take your soul too.
Hey, you know what? We got a funny clip out of it. You know,
Oh
I will gladly embarrass myself for the masses. I'm a clown.
You have not done as bad as we have already had on this podcast. Don't worry.
Oh,
hey, I'll take it.
There's been a lot of embarrassment on the podcast.
Yeah.
I talked. I went to a friend's house and talked for 3 hours until like no, not 3 hours. I talked until 3 in the morning. Yeah, I was hammered. It was like it was a get together.
No.
With their dad about One Piece because their dad has been watching One Piece. So I've just been talking to everybody. My dad is now slowly watching One Piece whenever he's on a treadmill. We watched the live action together. It was awesome.
Nice.
But I've managed to get all my IRL friends pretty much to watch it. So now it's like I can talk about it with anyone, and because I can do that, it's so relevant in my brain all the time that it's like you're able to remember so much more of it. Like Full Metal I don't talk about often, so it's definitely faded from memory a bit.
Full Metal or Brotherhood?
Brotherhood. I never watched the original.
You should watch the original. The original's better. Brotherhood sucks ass.
Time for that. Okay,
yeah,
so
I've seen Brotherhood. So.
I got into a little debate about Brotherhood the other day with a few people. I love Brotherhood. I also think it is way too highly rated on.
It is. It's greatly too highly rated.
On most people's lists. I said some pretty hesitant some hasty things the other night in saying I said it probably wouldn't make my top 25 or wouldn't make my top 10. It probably would make my top 10 after I've thought about it more. It is such a complete story.
I mean,
but the beginning is so rushed.
I have the Brotherhood rated a 4 because the beginning is fucked. Like they praise it as being a faithful adaptation or a faithful reboot to the manga, but what they did, like the original show,
the beginning's not faithful.
No, because the original anime had 25 episodes, if not more. I think it was actually like 28 that were faithful to the manga, and then the ending of it is what changed. I think it was 28, 29 that changed to the anime only. And they condensed those 28, we'll say 25 to be generous, 25 episodes into 7 episodes of Brotherhood. And I say 7 because it's 8 episodes, but the first episode of Brotherhood is complete filler and does not exist. So they
see that's what confused me is the first episode.
Yeah, that first episode did not exist in the manga. It is purely just to shotgun introductions to all characters that you wouldn't get introduced till later in the series, that you barely get introduced to regardless because you're only getting 8 episodes of screen time with them, where before you got 25 episodes to build up these characters. You get deaths that happen that you don't really get the build up for. Like, there's a death that happens in Brotherhood, and spoilers, I'm sorry, that happens in the first 8 episodes. It happens in episode like 20 in Fullmetal Alchemist. And you get so much more time with this character, and you like feel the hit of it so much more. Even like the scenes, like the whole Nina Tucker scene, those episodes, it's rushed so much into barely a full episode.
So
in Brotherhood.
I actually do think that is one of the strong episodes of the series, like one of the strongest, and that's because it's so rapid fire that you don't even have time to process, and then the shock value sets in after you watch it.
So
like,
I'm
what
gonna
did I just watch?
I'm gonna hard spoil this.
I
I'm
already
gonna
know exactly where this is leading.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
sitting here eating popcorn.
in the original, it's drawn out, but it's more of a like a shock value drawn out, because you do kind of see the little hints that it's happening and whatever, and you kind of feel the dread, but you don't really feel like you don't fully comprehend what's about to happen. You kind of see like the cogwheels turning, but you don't get the full impact. But I think if we boil it down to the main scene, the actual in the basement scene, the original hits so much harder, because in Brotherhood, and correct me if I'm wrong, in Brotherhood, both the brothers are both kind of like, oh no, what do you do? What did you do? How did you do this? Like right off the bat, they've clicked it together. They're like, it's there.
I don't remember. I watched it in like 2020, 2021.
In the original, both of the brothers come in there, and there's a moment of like recognition with Ed. Like for a second, he's like, oh, you did it, and then always like he's looking at it, and he's like, oh, you did that. And Al in the background is like, oh, how'd you do that? You actually managed to make it talk, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, you see Ed go through this entire like downward spiral of realizing everything that has led up to this and everything that has happened, and trying to figure out a solution. And being able to see that change in him in contrast to Al not quite processing what happened yet hits so much harder than them just being like, oh, yeah, daughter, dog, chimera, how horrible. Like, it hits so much harder, and you get so much more time with Nina and, like, the family, that it's just, like, you grow more attached to it, because Nina and them are there for his entire entrance exams. So they're there to cheer him on whenever he passes the entrance exam and everything, where it's just, they're just kind of shotgunned in there in Brotherhood, where instead you get a whole episode of that. Where
I remember they were scattered in a lot more in the manga too.
Yeah. So it's like that whole beginning part. I would much rather see a show with a much stronger beginning and kind of a flop of an ending than an anime that has a shitty ending with a okay end, or a shitty beginning with a okay ending. And I don't like the ending of Brotherhood. I very much like
I really do like the ending of Brotherhood.
In comparison, I don't. Because
I like the ending of Brotherhood, so don't worry.
It's, well, you also have like, you have not watched the original.
No, and I probably never will.
It's filler.
Filler is not always bad.
I watched Naruto. Filler is always bad, even when it's good.
No, I mean that Bleach filler. One of my favorite Bleach episodes.
If it's the beach episode.
Yes, it's the Bleach episode. Shut up! Yes, it's the Bleach episode.
Beach episodes aren't filler. Beach episodes are always canon.
Excuse me.
Otherwise.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Pendulum Arc filler?
No.
Which one is it? What's up the Pendulum? Which one is it? It's one of the. It's either the.
In Bleach.
In Bleach, there's a big arc at the end.
There's the Bounce arc that's filler. There's the
end of it.
Zanpakuto arc.
Zanpakuto arc.
That's filler.
Yeah, I skipped that.
Yeah, it's fucking great. What do you mean?
I enjoyed it. It got a little went at the end, but I watched all of it because that's when I was watching it like religiously.
But anyways, we don't put shonen filler on the same pedestal as filler for other shows because
I mean, Sojo filler is some of the best filler out there. Just saying.
exactly.
I think like filler and slice of life works.
Exactly. So it's like you can't put Full Metal Alchemist filler on the same category. Also, Full Metal Alchemist has one of the best soundtracks. I'm sorry, but Brotherhood has some okay openings. It has one really good opening and some okay openings.
You're committing war crimes on this podcast.
I am not. I am not.
I would like to say that all the openings for both versions are all really good.
The original's openings are all really fucking good, but also the endings and the inserts for the original top anything in Brotherhood.
Full Metal is very consistent on its music. I'll give you that. All Full Metal and Brotherhood because I have loved. I'm an anime fan. Of course, I've listened to openings from shows I haven't watched.
Of course.
Same.
Can't relate.
Also, Melissa is the perfect like road trip song when you're like,
oh my god,
top is like lowered, driving into like the west, just full speed.
Nobody ever wants to travel east. No one wants to go to through the Atlantic
I've been to the east. I've lived
through
in
the ocean, go on an
good.
adventure. You guys don't
We're
want to
gonna
go to
west.
Britain? Go get some tea.
I want to get edible food. I don't want to get beans on toast.
Me too.
You wait, hold on. I don't think I've asked Shio this yet.
Oh?
Do you boil your hot dogs?
Oh no. Don't get me started on people that boil their hot dogs.
Yes, and then we grill them afterwards.
It is a Midwest thing. Oh my fucking god! So here's the backstory, right? For the longest time, when I've heard of boiling hot dogs, I thought it was a UK thing because it sounds so rancid that only somebody without taste buds would do it.
No. Listen, my mom used to boil hot dogs for us and not like grill them because like if it was raining or like because it was easier. So I get it's easy, but also
it's
like
not easier. You can literally put it in a skillet and it cooks.
Yeah, I'm like, why?
And you can walk away with it if it's boiling and you don't have to like babysit it.
I don't babysit them when I put it on the skillet. The skin starts to bubble when they roll over and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean when we make brats, we don't boil them. We cook them on the grill, but hot dogs, yeah, we'll boil.
I'm just like boiling meat does not sound appealing at all. But also,
I mean that's how you make all the meat at Taco Bell is by boiling it.
I don't really like Taco Bell though. Taco Bell is just Californian Mexican food. It's gross. It's like bottom of the barrel for me.
For me, it's like comfort food. So
oh my god, that's so gross. I just feel like it would absorb water and like.
I mean, it does. And then the water is really nasty afterwards. We always joked about what we would do with hot dog water and like what kind of pranks we could do with hot dog water.
I swear to God, I thought this was a UK thing. I can't believe America has committed these atrocities. This is disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's really normal in the Midwest to boil hot dogs. Not everyone does it, but it is very normal.
I've never met anybody up until until streaming, knowing people that boil hot dogs. Because I've asked a lot of my friends on like Facebook, and I was like, "How do y'all cook y'all's hot dogs? Or how did y'all have y'all's hot dogs?" All of them are like toaster oven, grill, skillet, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but then there's people outside the Midwest who boil brats, and brats are not meant to be boiled. Those have to be on the grill. Everyone in the Midwest will tell you, well, actually in Wisconsin, will tell you that brats have to be grilled, but they cannot be boiled. And you go every single baseball stadium outside of the freaking Wisconsin, and they're all boiled, and they're disgusting. That's why no one likes brats, because they make them wrong.
I mean, I don't boil my broads, but I also just don't boil my weenies either, so,
Yeah, let's not boil any weenies. That would hurt. Thank you
Some
guys. Thank you.
some people
I'm
might
a
be into it. It's fine.
I'm a grade A comedian. I'm the
It's
funniest
someone's cake
person.
somewhere.
No comment.
Unfortunately, that's probably true.
No comment.
Mm.
Listen, we don't
Keep
keep
your
shame here.
weenies out of our water.
Oh god. Hot dog water. There's a reason hot dog water is an insult.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
because
but
you're not meant to put hot dogs in water, and you're
I
not meant to do
know.
anything with the water that
You're meant to
accumulates in a hot dog
But
packet.
again, that's why I thought it was such a UK thing. I'm like, of course, the people that put beans on toast would also boil their hot dogs.
No,
I
we
did
also
not.
boil hot dogs here. Yeah.
And then I met a
You
UK fan, and my UK like, oh, don't
sound
talk
so
to me.
ashamed.
I am so ashamed.
You know what I'm not ashamed of, though?
What?
You guys shouldn't be either. My tier list of One Piece women.
All right, let's hear it.
All right,
All right, go for it.
Let me open the tier
If you
list
list
on
a
my
woman
end.
I don't know, I'll just be like, sure.
Yes, agree with me
Mm.
blindly. I have a tier list. I have to like auto correct it in my brain because it's a tier list that me and my IRL friend sat down in front of the other day and made it, and we voted, which means some characters that should be higher, like Uta from Film Red, are not. They're in C tier. But let's list off the S tiers real quick. Obviously, you gotta have Vivi at the top.
Okay.
I like BB.
All right, Vivi is a straw hat, and anyone who tries to argue that anyone else is taking that spot is wrong. Yamato fans, I'm looking at you. Yamato is never getting on the boat. Cope and seethe, cope and seethe. Um, Nami number 2. I like money.
I
Nami likes
disagree.
money.
I'm a strike one for a lettuce. There, we're taking away a leaf.
Oh, I have leaves now.
Yeah, you're lettuce.
Um,
You're salad. You're a whole salad.
yeah, I do have to put Robin above Nami, but Nami's 3 because Nami likes money. I like money. I'm green. Money's green. You know, it all just kind of goes into the same little bucket.
Yeah, I like Robin a lot.
Robin, I like history. Robin likes history. It's big brain. Also, Robin's backstory, which one of my close friends skipped. And that's a
Why?
rant for another time because he didn't want to watch a flashback. He said, "I just wanted to watch them throw hands," and I almost lost it. I almost committed unspeakable crimes that day.
You should have committed unspeakable crimes.
Yeah.
Dude, I was ready.
We'll never
I was
rat
ready.
you
He
out.
also skipped Big Mom's flashback, which was also
I'll accept that.
yeah, but like you get to learn that like
That she
devil
was always
fruits can
bad.
be transferred. Well, also like the way that her devil fruit was transferred is just actually
Yeah.
evil. Um,
Big Mom's backstory does no justice for Big Mom. Let's just say that without spoiling.
I mean,
When does
I hate Big Mom. Big Mom is by
backstory
far
come into play?
800-ish.
Okay.
You got some time.
Mhm.
I'm
Big
gonna...
Mom is by far my least favorite Yonko. I don't understand everybody who
If
loves
you guys
her,
were
but
to
that's
watch me,
another
I just
debate.
slowly took off my headphones, be like, I think we're in spoiler territory.
You're
No,
good.
I
We
will
won't
not.
talk. We won't talk about it.
I'm not doing
Um,
spoilers. I'm just saying Big Mom is my least favorite
Yeah.
of all of the known ones.
I will say her son is very hot though.
Oh yeah. Katakuri is a G. Unless you're talking about Paris Barrow. If you're talking about Paris Barrow, no, sit down.
No,
Go to your corner.
I'm
Okay,
good.
good.
I have taste. Thank you.
I think Uda's got to be number 4. Just that's just because I'm an Auto fan.
Mm.
I'm still so mad her concert sold out so fast.
Yeah,
I was
I
thinking of
am.
getting tickets, and before I could even think of getting tickets, they were gone.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm
oh,
buying resale tickets for $250 a pop.
Oh my god.
that's not that bad actually. Holy shit, that's not that
Yeah.
bad.
So I'm probably gonna buy two later.
I'm still upset that they didn't
I have a
do
friend who is
they
refusing to let me buy them for them, and I'm gonna do it anyway.
fair. I'm so mad that they cast Amelie to play Uta, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're not gonna dub the songs though." Like,
Yeah, that's weird. That was
that
weird
was
to me.
so stupid. Why?
That was a big like slap in the face to Amelie. I don't think she
Yeah.
saw it that way, but I felt like a big slap in the face to her.
I mean, it gets her more views because all the people that wanted to hear that now go to her channel to hear that. So
That is true.
That's
Uh,
true.
She got some revenue from it.
I got to
And
watch that. That was my movie I watched on my way to TwitchCon, by the way. So I only recently
number
watched it.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting till I caught up with One Piece.
Fair.
It's my reward.
number
Number
5 is a
five.
pretty deep cut, and I think this
Mhm.
will be the last one I list. Um, you know, there's a lot of great One Piece women, and these are all like also based on. This is a character tier list. Like these are the characters I like best.
I am
Um,
concerned with how much he's prefacing who the fifth is now. I am now
um,
nervous.
no. There's no need to be nervous. I'm just stalling because I accidentally closed the tier list. Yeah. I'm totally not building up for any dramatic um uh reveals or anything. How do I say this? I really think that pudding is cool.
Fair. We can't
And
talk
I
about that because Shio's here, but fair.
I mean,
and I
sure.
want the character to come into play again, and I think they will. But they're not my number 5. My number 5 is Kami from Fishman Island because I don't know, like it added for the Fishman Island Sabaody arc. She
Oh,
added
okay.
a lot to the arc.
I'm gonna give you your leaf back only because you did not include Boa Hancock in your top 5.
I really like Boa, but I like Boa because of how her character has the potential to interact with the world and how she interacts with the world. As a
Yeah.
character, she's kind of
I think
for
she's a
me.
very basic bitch waifu pick, so
Oh no, she doesn't make the waifu list at all.
yeah.
Um, but I also this list wasn't really a waifu list as much as a character list.
Just female character. It's still just
Yeah.
like most as any guy I've ever talked to, it's just like, who's your favorite female One Piece character? Boa. Boa.
Well, if you're unless you're Luffy or like you're you're have self-respect, you're gonna get turned to stone. So it's like, what's the point? Like, why? What are you even thinking?
Fair. Who's your favorite Straw Hat member?
Do we count Luffy as a Straw Hat? I don't count him when I think of the Straw Hats because he's the captain. But if we're counting Luffy, I have to like Luffy's number
Okay,
one.
other
It's
than
not
Luffy then.
close. If it other than Luffy, does Shio know all the Straw Hats? Because I don't want to spoil.
I know all the Straw Hats. Like that's been spoiled for me because you can't
Do
avoid it.
you? Do you
If it's
though?
been
Like
within the
the
last arc,
helmsman, the helmsman, big
Well,
boy,
she's not gonna know their positions or anything, but she'll know what they look like or everything.
big blue person.
yeah, I've seen them.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
Jinbei.
okay.
yeah, I know about Jinbei. I don't know anything about him, but I know they're part of the crew.
Mhm.
So
Kind of hard to avoid seeing that.
when you see all the fan arts and they have like characters you don't know, you realize oh they're part of the Straw Hats. Like
Yeah.
you make that connection because
What's the
it's obvious.
best way I could make the most Zoro and Sanji fans angry?
Stop! Don't do that.
by
Don't do
by
that to me.
not picking either of them, obviously.
See, I like both See, I really like Zoro because Zoro is stronger than Sanji, and it's not a debate.
I
But I
just
like
think
Sanji more than Zoro because Sanji's a better character than Zoro, and it's not a debate.
I
There we
just
go. I did it. I did
What
it.
no.
about Sanji and Zoro together?
I just think Chopper's better than both of them, so it's fine.
Chopper's cute.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Let's not lie to them now.
I
No,
love
no.
Chopper
The
though.
best way to make fun of them is to tell them the truth and make them mad. Zoro and Sanji fans are like my favorite type of zoo animal. It's like Mihawk and Shanks, and Zoro and Sanji fans are just so much fun to like poke the glass and like look in and then see like the angry animal in the cage, like the angry lion just start running at the glass. I think see, deciding a favorite Straw Hat's really hard because I really like Zoro or like Sanji. I love all of them. Like if you put each of them in a respective series, I'd probably choose every single one as my favorite character from that series.
Fair.
Uh Brook has his moments where I'm like don't know how I like where I find him a little annoying. But Sanji's simp gag also gets old.
It never gets
But
old.
Yeah.
Sanji's also like in my like at least top 4 because he's fourth because he's always fourth strongest on the crew. Okay, not actually. But
Sanji has been like one of my
he
least
does
favorites
consistently.
for the longest time. Just because
That's a
of his simp.
wild take to me.
It's
even
just
though I dislike the simp thing.
I hate the simp thing and it overpowers everything else for me because like I don't mind flirty and pervy characters. I don't.
Did you like him in the live action then?
Yeah. There was one moment that freaked me out, but like most of it, he was acceptable. I liked him a lot better in there. But for the most part, up until like later in the series, I've always just been so uncomfortable with it. Like I don't mind pervy characters. I don't mind like the playboy characters as much. His was just it was too over the top where I'm just like, stop, please.
It's one of those things where they definitely had to change it for the live action.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it works well, but despite me not liking it, I do think it's also like incredibly important to maintain in the anime.
Yeah.
Because it's so core to his character.
I'm not gonna lie, it helps that his actor is very attractive.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was really nervous about Taz originally. I didn't know how I liked the casting. But I try not to fan cast, but I had seen a Cole Sprouse in like a cosplay or something very similar to a Sanji outfit, and I thought like, okay, is he cast? He wasn't.
No.
But Taz ended up being one of my favorite performances in the show. So I'm more than happy with the entirety of the live action, even though a lot of people don't seem to like my take on that.
I think it did phenomenal though.
Oh no, it did great, but people don't want to admit that it's any good. There's still some people that kind of stick to their guns on that. And what can you do?
People are just mad about change. Like they want it to be a 1-to-1, but they don't realize how bad it's gonna be when it's 1-to-1.
I thought it should. I still think there are things they should have included.
Yeah.
I'm if anyone's gonna argue it should be a 1-to-1, it's going to be me. I think that's one of the most important things when adapting a story.
Hot take, I don't really have a problem with most live action adaptations though, so I say most.
I skip most of them.
So
I like we
but
had
a lot of the cool people I met
this, so yeah.
a lot of the cool people I met in the One Piece YouTube space was because they were talking about the live action. So
I've been watching a lot of reactions to it and stuff. Like it's been fun, but I mean, the one I need to watch next, and this one is also an anime we can't talk about with Shio, but Yu Yu Hakusho just got its live action too.
You can't talk about it with me neither. I've never seen Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's on my list to read this year, so I at least will have it read this year.
I still can't believe you're reading it instead of watching it, but okay.
Because I have the entire manga on my shelf. Like, I'm gonna read it.
But favorite Straw Hat, I think I've stalled long enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll feel remiss if I say anything other than Zoro and Sanji at a tied place. But man, I love me Jinbei, and I love me some Frankie.
Oh my god.
Um,
I can't wait for Shio to get to Frankie.
I've met Frankie already.
Have you?
Yeah.
yeah,
Is
he's
he?
Thriller Bark.
He's before Thriller Bark. He's Water 7.
Oh, I thought he was after Thriller Bark for some reason. Okay.
Mm-mm.
I don't remember
But
him being in Thriller Bark. I think that's why.
with Jinbei, I'm convinced he knows. There was the information that we learned about Luffy at the end of Wano.
I have
I'm
no idea.
convinced he's
I'm
known since the beginning. Oh, you
yeah.
have not caught up. Oh, okay.
I'm
okay,
in
okay.
Wano right now, so
Okay, okay.
yeah. I'm letting.
I won't say anything more other than when we get when you get the big boy reveal
Mm-hmm.
at like chapter 1040s, somewhere around there.
Oh, I'm watching.
No, don't
Episodes
tell
like
me a chapter. Don't tell me a chapter. I'm reading it.
oh,
Don't tell me a
okay,
chapter.
I'm
okay.
watching anyway, so.
Once you get to the end of Wano,
Mm-hmm.
just know that I think Jinbei knows, and I think
Okay.
he's known since he met Luffy.
Okay.
Um,
I might
and
already know what you're talking about as well because I know a lot of spoilers regarding it because I do watch.
you probably
but,
do if it's what I'm referencing.
maybe.
But
yeah, no, I let arcs like I get to a part in Wano where I'm like, okay, some shit's about to go down, so I'm gonna stop watching because I'm just gonna want to binge watch it, and I'm waiting for Wano to finish in the anime so I can binge watch it. And
Wano's been done for 3 weeks in the anime.
Okay, it's only been 3 weeks.
So perfect timing.
So yeah, I have so much other stuff I have to watch now though.
Yeah, there's so much.
They're
stuff to
changing the art style up, and it's looking so good. Oh, no, I feel that. The only other anime I've been able to watch since I just haven't had time was JJK season 2, and I'm already caught up on the manga. So like,
No, I did a bingo board of anime that I have to watch next year, and like it's only 24. I could theoretically probably do that in by May if I want to, but most of the shows on there I don't want to watch. So
then why did you put them on there?
It was community voted.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You're safe just because yours isn't the worst one on there for me to have to watch.
Watch more at this point, and I read more manga and watch more YouTube than I do watch anime at this point.
I read a lot of manga, so that's why I fall behind in anime because I usually end up preferring the reading it.
I'm the same way. I love soundtracks, but
I do not have the time of day to waste with manga. I would much rather watch anime.
Well, you watch a dub, right?
Yes.
Typically? Yeah, so you could just throw it on in the background. I
don't throw it on the background. I straight up watch it. I sit here and I don't pay attention to nothing else.
That's crazy.
The whole point of me watching dub is so I can watch the entire show and not the bottom third of the screen.
See, that's the way my eyes work. Is I'm able to just stare at and read at the same time as watching the full screen.
Yeah, I'm on a 55-inch TV. I can't do that. If I was on a if I have to watch subtitled shows, I generally watch them on my laptop because it's much smaller and I can still watch the entire screen, but I still feel like I'm focusing on the bottom.
That's fair.
Because I've had shows that I've gone through and rewatched in the dub, and I notice so many things in the background or expressions that I didn't notice before, and I'm like, I literally just rewatched this, and I just watched this, and I did not notice this important thing in the background that foreshadowed this, and it's insane. So
yeah,
I just dub watch now, but I have to watch at least 2 isekais now, and I hate it. It's disgusting.
Well, have fun with your isekais.
Well,
I say that as I look at my list and I have like 3 isekais I want to watch that I haven't been able to watch.
Yeah.
I think I have enough decent on here to counterbalance it because like I got Parasite on here. I got Psychopaths on here.
Yeah.
I got Death Parade on here.
I need to watch both Parasite and Psychopaths.
Golden Boy's on here.
Psychopaths, but I don't know about Parasite. I still have to read it myself.
I have to watch the weird furry shoujo that came out a couple seasons ago.
Okay, actually, that is pretty decent. It's got a lot of storytelling, and a lot of lore.
Putting it lower on the list.
I've read only one volume of it, so I can't full vouch, but I've seen great things from it.
I have to watch
I
Keijo.
think you need to scrap the entire list and read Dick Fight Island.
I have Dick Fight Island. I can read it right now.
I will read nothing of the sort. Nothing. Yeah.
I want to read it. I should have added that to my list.
It
I
is
just
the
haven't.
most cursed thing I've ever read. I am a
I'm so
100%
excited.
straight man, and I need to refilm it because it was like the first video I filmed of the new year, and I never uploaded it. I never edited it because frankly the footage sucked, and like I still sucked in front of a camera. As far as like recordings go. But where I went in and bought like a bunch of weird manga and was gonna review each one in like a 1 minute segment.
I
And Big Fight
feel
Island was fucking so dumb. I loved it.
I love it. I love the premise, and I can't wait to read it because it's gonna be
It's so stupid.
it's gonna be a journey of some sort.
DM me after you read it. It's so dumb.
I feel like I have a challenge that I must embark on, but now I have to figure out what the name of this fucking show is because I forgot. I know it's something about the wolf boy licking the bear's nipples, but
what?
I know me and Shio have talked about this one before on the podcast, and I don't know if I linked it to you at all.
I can't hear you.
Even the sad thing is you said that to me, and I don't remember you mentioning it before, but I totally was like not phased by it at all because it's not the worst thing you've told me about.
No, definitely not. I mean, you're still reeling from the fact that I enjoyed Redo Up Healer, so.
Forever we'll be reeling for that.
Yeah. My search history is about to be so fucked.
My search history.
I hope you enjoy the ads.
My search history is about to get a lot worse because Firefox added the DRM prevention, so you can't like screen share through Discord anymore.
Oh yeah.
And I don't like piracy. My dad raised me against it.
I'm the same way. I don't like watching on the illegal sites if I have.
So I'm about to have to spend a lot of looking for Blu-rays to get video footage.
Lovely.
Yay, resellers, please. Please. Pity me.
You better look for those Facebook Marketplace deals.
Right.
Dude, that's actually genius.
That's literally what I do for manga, and I've gotten some great deals on some stuff that's been hard to find.
Manga, I'll do fan translations, because I already pay for a Viz subscription and a Shonen Jump subscription.
I found it!
So, like, I'm paying for the official. I'm just getting the product a few days early from the fan translation, so I don't feel bad.
See, I wait. If there's, for the Viz and the Shonen Jump stuff, I wait for those to come out just because... I pay for it officially. It comes out just as much time. I don't have to try to hunt it down. I'll just read it right there on the same day as it comes out.
Yeah.
I just get annoyed at the people who plaster the fan stuff everywhere, and you can't avoid it. JJK fans
in the One Piece. Hey.
No,
listen. JJK fans are worse.
They're the worst.
Right now. They are right now. JJK has managed to somehow hit a stride where they are worse than Dragon Ball fans are right now, and I think that's just because Dragon Ball fans haven't had any new content and they're like in hibernation.
Dragon Ball
so
fans
haven't
had
crayon eaters, but Jesus, even MHA shippers have also haven't seen many. Thankfully, jeez. Can't stand them.
See, I don't mind those. The JJK spoiler fans are the people who I'm like, I want to strangle you because now I know things about JJK that I was not ready to know about, that I didn't want to know about yet. I've been spoiled on so many things that I will literally not enjoy JJK.
I'm gonna assume you learned about everybody's favorite fraud. Sorry.
I'm trying to actively forget spoilers, so don't try to remember.
Okay, I got you.
Because I'm literally so pissed. I'm not going to be surprised by anything that's going to happen, and I'm just going to be livid the entire time.
Yeah, it's rough. My friend read. He doesn't read manga, but he read JJK because of that. I was like, yeah, yes, become one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only read one volume, but I've watched up to episode 9, so but I
It's a good
have the entire series.
JJK is has very good character work. It's very good at character death,
It
despite
has good character work. Where?
Where? Yeah, it's just Blue Exorcist reskinned.
I was
dude.
gonna say it's Naruto, but on a budget.
I'm completely caught up to the manga. I love, love every character. Maki Zenin is one of my favorite characters I've read in so long.
I watched the entire first season and the Zero movie, and
Okay. So that's why. That's why.
if it
Af-
can't get me in an entire first season to care about a
no.
single character, though,
Okay, that's fair. See, I did care about the character in season 1, but season 1 is very much a not setup. Season 1 almost lulls you into thinking this is going to be very happy-go-lucky, hi, we like school show.
I didn't get that at
Um,
all.
and then it evolves into okay, well that guy's dead. Where's this gonna go? And then you get to Shibuya, and you don't enjoy life ever again as a
I
reader.
I've heard things about Shibuya, and I'm just like, I still wouldn't care because
That's
like
fair.
I'm like I watched the entire first season, and like I love
It,
shonens. I'm a huge like I if it's a long run in shonen, you already have like the advantage to pull me in. I watched 6 seasons of My Hero Academia just because it was a long run in shonen. And I was like, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the
yeah.
doubt. It keeps getting worse, but I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. It's getting worse. I'm gonna keep going though. And then like JJK, I wanted to drop it at episode 3, and I kept going, and I tortured myself. And by
JJK's
the end of
plot
it,
is
it's not.
I do not like
It
JJK's
has
plot.
nothing to do with the plot. I don't care.
Um,
The characters are all so flat and one note, and like, no, I don't give a shit. I would wish they would. Like, I was kind of expecting them all to die in that last fight that I watched because, like, you literally built up nothing in all these episodes. So they're just gonna die, right? We're gonna just get new characters in the next season, and like Gojo's the real main
well,
character because they put a lot more detail into his sparkly eyes. Like, I got nothing out of season 1, absolutely nothing. And it's not even like
I'm not one of those people who's like, if you don't like the first, like people who are like, oh, you got to watch till Arlong Park in One Piece and then it gets like great. Like no, if you
oh
don't like
no.
One Piece at East Blue, drop it. Like if you don't like East One Piece by the time you meet Buggy and you get the episode 4 like flashback, drop the show.
Okay, no,
Don't keep
I will
watching.
say get past that because that's always where I got stuck, and then I finally got past it. And now I like One Piece. So
No.
Dear Village is also hard to get through.
I just have a
Um,
lot of people that are
but
baffled that I didn't like the first season or the characters because they kind of do the same thing you do. Like, oh well, the story's not that. I'm like, I'm not caring about the story. I'm a character driven person, and the characters suck. And
yeah,
like,
the
so
characters
I
don't hook
and
you
but
in.
also,
I really like the character working. Okay, go ahead.
You can. There's
so
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, like it's fine if you like it, but for me, like there was nothing there. But also, like my second thing is I like good fights. Give me good emotional fights that pull me in. And JJK didn't do that either. Like the biggest fight that I remember from the show is the only reason I remember it is because I hated it. And it's not Sasuke, emo broody boy. I forgot his name.
Megumi?
I don't know.
Yeah, Fushiguro versus
The because it's the trio, the Naruto, the Sakura, the Sasuke, the moody broody, not Sasuke.
yeah.
So he was in a fight in a forest with this dude, and he was getting his ass kicked, and then all of a sudden he gets a miraculous power up, and then he kicks his ass, and then he's laying on the ground and contemplating, like, oh, where did I get this miraculous power up? And then you get the
Episode
flashback,
9.
and I'm like, why you give me the flashback then? Like, I understand you want to go for the little flashbacks in the middle of the fight and ruin the pacing and inner dialogue is bad. Like, no, because now I don't give a shit about the fucking fight anymore. Because
Was
if you would,
in
you
the
would,
forest?
I don't know.
I'm trying to
There were
think.
trees, and he was laying in the dirt. So
I'm trying to remember. With JJK, so I think its fights are its strong suit, but that's because
They have-
visually pleasing, and
They can be visually pleasing, but they have no weight to them.
the ability, the character stuff is like the abilities are cool, but as far as weight goes, JJK, like, people are mad at the recent season of JJK. Without going to spoilers, because a few of the things that happen, they claim are cheap emotional gut punches. And my hot take of the day is that character deaths in fiction need to be more like character deaths in, I guess, not character deaths, but like real people deaths in real life. Um, in the way that, like,
I mean, meaningless.
no, no, not meaningless. I don't think a character needs to have a full character arc in a story for an author to worry about killing them. I think that's actually something, One Piece doesn't kill its characters. Because, there's always, Oda's like, oh, there's always more I could do with them. And I
Well,
think the best way to kill a character is again, this is my hot take, is if the character has a fully, like, a future that you as a reader can visualize. Like, they have tomorrow. Like, you can see them, like, with let's pretend, let's open Naruto. Let's pretend Sakura dies, right?
that
Or
sounds like a great thing.
let's pretend Sasuke dies in
That
the
also sounds
forest
like a great thing.
in the forest of death in the Chunin exams. At that point in the story, you can imagine Sasuke uh slowly but surely getting along with Naruto, and you can picture the three of them growing up together because you don't know that he's gonna leave, right? So if he dies in the forest of death against the Orochimaru fight, then okay, it's like there's tragedy. You could picture the future. Whereas in Bleach, you guys have both finished Bleach, right?
Oh yeah. Bleach got a good.
Uh,
I don't
I've
know if
watched.
you haven't.
I'm not finished Thousand Year Blood War,
but have you watched the first few seasons of Blood War?
I stopped in the middle of the second one, I think.
So you saw the character that should have died in season 1, but his death was retconned.
I don't remember.
Uh,
Thousand Year Blood War is like very not hitting for me, so it's blurring into me, like, because it's been a lot of stuff happening with a
It's
lot
very
of.
fast paced.
It's not fast paced. It's just like, well, I guess yeah, kind of fast paced. It's just
it's a lot slower paced still than the
With
manga.
the amount of
because the manga
yeah.
was super fast paced.
I'm sitting here like I just watched 3 entire fights start and finish in a single episode, and I'm bored because I'm
No,
like,
yeah, I was gonna say Shio. It's way faster paced than the manga was.
Yeah,
The
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 manga.
manga was fast, but the anime is faster.
I can't do it. It's
But
because the
There were
fights
there's
there was like 2 or 3 fights that were drawn out in the manga, but like the anime is like
there's
expanding a little bit more than what the manga did.
there's a character in Bleach whose death was going to happen, but the author got death threats and retconned it.
Oh,
And that is
oh.
that is a perfect character death on the end of the spectrum of the character has served their purpose, their job is done. It's a character arc. They've had a full arc. There's no purpose in the story for them to stick around. And that's a great death if it sticks around. It's beautiful. But I also think there is a lot of merit and a lot of beauty in a well executed death where the character hasn't gotten to evolve or develop. You see a lot of people talking about how the author of JJK cannot write a certain type of character because they're not giving them character arcs or whatever. But I think that actually adds to the impact so much more because you get the same raw feeling that the character or the characters around said character who dies get of shit. This just happened. This person had so much left to do. Like you are more in tune with the actual characters of the story rather than a satisfied reader. And I like that a lot. Sorry to monologue.
you're good. You're good. I mean, that's what this is here for. I kind of agree and I kind of disagree because for me, I think what makes a good like character death For me, it's all about the emotions of the surviving characters, like how it affects the surviving characters. Like
I agree.
even if it's not a full death, and
That is a big impact.
we'll go back to Naruto. And we'll talk about the pain fight. Like Hinata didn't fucking die, but Naruto thought she did, and his reaction to it, that's what carried the weight. Like, and the best way to explain this is my favorite shonen, like long running shonen of all time, is Fairy Tail, and that's because every fight and every, even if it's not a real death that happens has weight to it. Like, as soon as somebody is either near death or somebody thinks somebody dies, there's a visible emotion between every character that is now aware of it. And that's what makes a death in an anime for me. Like, it holds more weight if it's lasting. Case in point, a certain death in One Piece, like
Bird.
That wouldn't have carried near as hard if it wasn't played out the way it was for a certain other character, and that's what carries it on for me. Is like there needs to be an effect that carries on, because I need to see that this is affecting the people that are still there.
And that's, as I said, why I really like the, oh no, this character didn't have a full arc and now they're dead.
Yeah.
It's, you get to see the reactions of the people around them, and you also get to have a much closer reaction to what the character would actually feel than if, oh, they're satisfied, they're gone. That there's merit too, in the sense that, when a character who is a fan favorite dies and they've had a full character arc, you also get a very similar feeling to what a character might be feeling in that moment if they love the character.
Right.
But there's less of a raw emotional gut punch in that scenario, in my experience with it. I think at the end of Hunter x Hunter is a perfect example with the Ant King.
What were you gonna say, Shio?
Oh, I was just thinking, it doesn't really matter how much time the character. This isn't necessarily disagreeing or agreeing. This is just like, but it doesn't really to me matter how much time a character's been on screen or how much characters interacted with the other characters. It's just like, how much can you feel that their death impacted the other characters? Like, for example, Kyoko from Fruits Basket, like she's dead before the episode starts, so it's not she's dead before the series starts. It's not a spoiler. And yet you feel her death constantly throughout the entire show.
Yeah,
like
she's a character that's there throughout the entire series, but has been dead since before the story started.
Yeah, and you feel that throughout because of how that has impacted the characters. And it's through that impact and those character connections that make the deaths worthwhile. And I don't feel that with Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, I don't feel I feel like a character dies and, oh no, it's sad at the time and a shock, but it doesn't last.
Where are you in the manga?
I haven't gotten far, but from what I've seen so far, like when things happen, they don't linger.
They do.
So that's just from what I've gotten, but also I'm just so bored. I'm so bored in Jujutsu Kaisen. I am literally just reading this to get through it because everyone's saying that it gets good, and it hasn't gotten good yet.
So
and
everything you guys said about the character death stuff is killing me, because that's literally Itadori's sole driving force.
I mean, we start off with like his grandpa dying, and like in an entire season, it's like we haven't felt any weight to that at all. An entire season, and we don't even get any weight or any care for his first death experience, I guess.
Yeah, like it's mentioned like once, and if he thinks about it, it's not like it's just like and there's nothing more to it.
Yeah, it was almost more of a comedic death than anything else. I was just kind of like, oh, is this going to be like a One Punch Man kind of thing? Is this going to be a parody?
Yeah, and that's something that should be weighing him way more than it has even this early on in the story.
I agree on that, actually.
I did
that's
like
like
the Zero movie. The
that's
Zero
what we
movie was
mean.
good, but that was because like they did a better job with the Zero movie cast in that 2-hour movie, less than 2-hour movie, than they did in that
Yuta is
entire
my
season.
favorite.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
Yuta
I
is one of my
felt more
favorites
in
in the
that
story.
movie than
Yuta was so
than I did.
fucking good. Like
It was also it also had to be a complete story because it was a one shot written before JJK.
which is insane. Like, so this mangaka is capable of writing really good character introductions and depth in a one shot, but can't do it for an entire season of a show, which is a little frustrating because I even cared about a character
I
that
think
has
Gojo's
no
introduction was very good.
I hated it. I hate. Wait, Gojo is the sparkly eyes, not Kakashi, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was just like, oh, all right, white hair character not showing his eyes. It's gonna be like
It
big
really,
impactful.
really
No.
felt like
I
it
consider
really
his
felt
introduction.
Naruto like 2.0, and you was just like, if I hadn't watched Naruto, maybe I could get behind this, but I'm like, I really just feel this is.
I was just like, I was expecting more from the eye reveal, like, because his introduction was just very like, oh, he's here now, whatever. It kind of felt like they were trying to pull the Levi Aaron scenario with the interrogation thing for a bit, but like with less punch. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, he's here now, and then voila, we see the mysterious eyes, and they're pretty. The whole secret was they are pretty. There's no reason like there might be a reason he covers his eyes, I don't fucking know, but he uncovered them so fucking quickly after his introduction that I feel like there's not really a point.
I know why he does, and but like it it still is like
they're pretty. They're sparkly.
Yeah,
I think his character introduction is very effective because it perfectly establishes his purpose in the story, even though he's a fucking fraud. So let me stop. Gojo has quickly descended down and down and down my character list in JJK.
I mean, I heard the mangaka hates him. Like it's his
he
least
does.
favorite, so.
Gojo is a very large obstacle to the author because Gojo is the strongest.
Yeah.
And if you don't remove Gojo from the story in some way, or it's almost like Zoro during East Blue, where Zoro was. I'm a firm believer that Zoro was one of, if not the strongest in the entire East Blue, and as far as characters we met on screen, other than like Mihawk, but anyone like who operated in East Blue, and the only reason he didn't have a bounty is because he was a pirate hunter. I almost think of it like that, where it's like Zoro had to get injured or removed from fights early on in One Piece because he was strong.
He still kind of does sometimes, like up until very recently.
Even at the end of Wano, he's got to take a lot of damage, but I think that slowly evolved into more of this is part of Zoro's character of he'll risk his body.
He's a Super Saiyan.
Yeah. Rather than
For the context, Super Saiyans, they get stronger every time they die. So that's why Goku gets a power up. He dies, gets brought back, and he's stronger.
Oh, I didn't know. I just knew Saiyans got more powerful as they take body.
Well, they get
battle damage.
Every time they take a loss, which death is essentially a loss. So.
Oh, I just thought going Super Saiyan was just when they yell and scream and they get stronger.
Oh, it is, but it's like there's different levels to Super Saiyan now. There's different color spectrums.
I will
to Super
say
Saiyan,
Blue.
So.
Super Saiyan Blue and Broly is some of the most beautiful animation I've ever seen.
Okay, I have a bone to pick for any. Like, I love the Broly movie.
I'm not a Dragon Ball fan. I dropped it right before he fought Frieza and right before he went Super Saiyan. That shit was boring as fuck.
As a Dragon Ball Z fan, as someone that has watched all of Dragon Ball, I own all of Dragon Ball, all of Dragon Ball Z, and all of GT. Dragon Ball Super is just making fun of the entire fandom. Like, it's just, hey, we hear you like Dragon Ball. Here's more Dragon Ball. You like Super Saiyans? Here's Super Saiyans. Oh, you like Frieza? You remember him? He was really cool, right? We got him back for you. Oh, you like the androids? They were cool, right? Hey, guess what? They're still here. Like, Super has just felt like, hey, yeah, remember everything that was good in Z? It's here now. Like, that's all it's been. And I'm like, I feel like it's a slap in the face to anyone that is a a true Dragon Ball Z fan, but the fact that there are super stands is
My
questionable.
two of my friends grew up on Z.
Mm-hmm.
One of them really does not like a lot of Super. His biggest issue, he says, and I don't know anything. I've only ever played Xenoverse with him. That's how I know Dragon Ball. Again, I thought the anime. I got really bored.
It's very okay at best, but it's
Um,
nostalgic for me.
but his biggest complaint was they made Goku stupid, like genuinely stupid.
Yeah, they definitely like he's always been a bit of a like dumb butt, but they definitely like overplayed it because he's not he in Z he's a quote unquote bad father, but he is still teaching his son basic things. He is still a father and he's still a provider for his family. Like he still does jobs to provide for Chi-Chi and Gohan. But in like Super, they kind of like he doesn't even know what kissing is. What? He has a kid. He has whole ass two children. Excuse me?
That's funny though. That's something that I consider funny.
It's become a meme within the Dragon Ball community now though, because it's just like, yeah, Goku doesn't even kiss his wife, but he has two kids. And just like, can you imagine the love life now?
He's just that much of a badass man.
No, Chi-Chi's that
straight down to business.
Chi-Chi is that much of a woman. She just like, yeah, you're just gonna lay there. Don't worry about
it. Oh.
What do you guys think of the state of anime as a whole, as far as like how I don't want to say mainstream because I don't think it's a mainstream.
Oh, it's mainstream.
Oh, it's definitely
mainstream. I think it's right on the cusp.
It's mainstream when almost every new person who I work with ends up liking anime.
I think it's
That's
mainstream.
fair.
It's as mainstream as like Game of Thrones, whereas like yeah, most people know about it. Not everyone's gonna get the references. Case in point, Shio didn't understand the Joffrey thing earlier. So like,
but do you think? So do you think it's Marvel levels at this
no?
point?
It's not that. It's not that big. It's not
Marvel's
Hollywood.
Also oversaturated too.
Oh, fucking everything's over. Marvel, anime, video games, all these industries are oversaturated.
I don't think it's quite hit Hollywood level yet. It would have to. It has to hit Hollywood blockbuster levels to be able to do that. And I think
the Netflix One Piece might have opened some floodgates.
It did, but it's not there
Especially
yet.
since
I think
it was
it's
able
close.
to it was able to do what it did to Wednesday, which is crazy that it beat Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if the final season of Stranger Things is able to beat the record that was set.
Stranger Things has lost a lot of its fandoms with the previous season, so
I dropped Stranger Things on like I saw the lady in like episode 1 or 2 get killed, and I was like, oh look, I don't care. Bye bye.
I know nothing about Stranger Things.
I think I watched a episode.
Characters that are in Dead by Daylight. I know nothing.
Yeah, same. I love horror stuff. I just could not. Granted, it's Netflix. I don't tend to like I said before. I don't tend to mind most Netflix or I don't tend to mind anime live actions. Let me not mince words, but Netflix live actions, like the fact that a One Piece live action was able to like win me over did it because and I'm noticing this with the Avatar: The Last Airbender trailer as well. And I've seen a few other people pointed out Netflix has this way of shooting like anime with this weird lens filter. Somebody I watched broke it down what kind of lens it is. I don't fucking remember what he called it, but it's where you can go into film footage and blur out the background so it's focused on a character, but instead they're using this lens that blurs out everything except for the center focus, which means you're getting these action shots where they're focusing on the face, but their bodies are blurred because their bodies aren't center frame, and it looks really weird, and it looks very like out of place. Like it'd be better if they just went through the editing process of doing that instead. It's not hard. It's a very easy to do with even DaVinci Studios, which is what I use for editing. So it's bizarre that they do that, and it's very jarring for a lot of action sequences. I noticed it in the Cowboy Bebop live action as well when I went back and watched that one, and it's done a little bit in the from what I saw in One Piece as well, and I don't like it. It's not really done in the Japanese live actions Netflix did because it wasn't done in the Yu Yu Hakusho one, but it's the
Yeah, but the Japanese live actions tend to turn out better normally.
agreed. Those
I
were
have
really
one
good.
exception, but you disagree with me on that. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a Japanese live action that I've watched that I've disliked. For a American live action, I mean, I obviously don't like the weird Dragon Ball movie they came out with. It was not good. And the first attempt at Avatar: The Last Airbender, not good. But Speed Racer was fucking phenomenal. So was Aelita Battle Angel. Like, those are fucking great. Nobody talks about those when they want to talk about live actions. They just want to talk about Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Evolution. That was what it was called. But yeah, people just like to focus on the negative.
Yeah. Speaking of that, actually, back to my last question of like,
Mm-hmm.
now that it's become so big, especially in such a short amount of time, what do you guys think of the new generation of fans? Because I have my, I've been watching anime since 2014, but I didn't really get deep into it until 19, 20.
See,
Uh,
I don't
so
have a
I'm
problem with the new generation of fans. My problem is generally just with the new generation's attitude in general, not just regarding anime.
Yeah,
So,
okay. That's fair.
yeah,
I wanna look at the anime specifically. I'm sorry to like hijack
yeah.
a topic.
You're good. You're good. I'm just like I'm trying to think.
Because
I'm
I
coming up
I
with
have
answers in my
my
head, and I'm
first
like,
thoughts.
oh, I just don't like the way they do this on
People,
anything.
yeah, yeah. Because back in the day, right? A lot of even when I was getting into it in like when I was first watching things in 2014, and again, I didn't really start diving in and talking to people about it
Mm-hmm.
until 19 when I started getting into like the content space.
Okay.
Um, but it used to be a lot more of a okay. You had the shippers, you had the power scalers, you had the abridged stuff going on. Uh, it it was all it was, but everyone could cross the boundaries of you like anime, I like
Mm-hmm.
anime. Now it's almost like, hey, I like Naruto. Fuck you for liking Bleach. Actually, no. You know what? The big three was always like
Yeah,
that.
I
But like
was about to say that's always kind of been a thing.
that's a wrong example. But like
Mm-hmm.
you don't like JJK? You like what? You read romance anime instead? You watch romance anime? You watch Konosuba instead of JJK? What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't
I'm
like Demon Slayer?
me
You're
not
a
being
Sanin.
guilty of like, what the fuck you mean you would rather watch an isekai than a good anime? Shio, do you have any thoughts on this? Because I know I have a
That's
tangent
funny
built
though.
up if you before I get into it.
Uh,
Shio?
it's just Shio's muted for something.
Oh, her mom
Oh,
might be in.
sorry. I was very upsetty stomach.
Oh,
Uh
oh
oh.
no.
I'm back.
You're good.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
So, okay, did you hear the question?
No, I did not hear the question.
Oh yeah, I'll go into my rant then, and then she can pick up for us. Just so as far as like the state of the community and everything, and like how it's changed from being less like because back then it was like you like anime, I like anime, regardless of like what anime we liked or what part of the fandom it is, and now it's different. For
I'd
me, I think.
also
Oh, go ahead.
I'd also like to ask you to like include this in your response. I'm interested. How has con culture changed, and how have cons changed with the resurgence? Because I've seen a lot of people at cons who I would not have seen at cons 3 years ago.
Uh, that one I'm not
Like
gonna have a
when I
lot of
first
insight
did.
on because I
Okay,
haven't been to
okay.
apart from TwitchCon and Anime Expo and that one Otakon, I haven't really been to cons in the past 3 years.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I think a lot of the problems stem with like the constant hatred between anime fans from the lack of conversation that's being able to be had. I've talked about this before, both on my stream and I think on the podcast. But I think conversation with an anime has just been dying. Like people can't really have a civil conversation, whether that's between the newer fans and the older fans, or like even between some older fans. Like a lot of the people that are still around don't that can have a good conversation don't really talk about anime anymore. Like two of our biggest anime creators of all time from YouTube run a podcast that hardly talks about anime.
Yep.
We have a third really big anime content creator that is also on another podcast that does not talk about anime anymore. So while they still do anime related content, they don't really open the door for anime related conversations. And a lot of what's left around is just a lot of spouting their opinions and a lot of people echoing other opinions instead of providing new insight. Yeah. I blame a lot of this on meme culture as well, and this was the part where I brought up, I think, in the last episode, where I find it really hard to have an open conversation about anime without somebody immediately just going in with a meme. Like, I'll provide an argument, though they'll provide an argument, I'll provide a rebuttal, and then they just, like, meme it. Like, me saying, like, oh, I'm really calling out somebody, I'm sorry, but me saying like, oh, if you're going to include all these things as an isekai, then you would consider Dragon Ball Z an isekai because they go to other worlds, being other planets. And then them just replying, well, yeah, Dragon Ball's an isekai. Like, it's that kind of response that's just like, that just kills the conversation. Like, we could have an actual fun conversation debating a topic, but instead you choose to meme instead of continue it. Or, like, even in my own chat, and this has become less of an issue, where I will talk about, like, I don't like isekais, or I don't like a specific thing, and I'll try and talk about it, and then they'll immediately just jump on the things I don't like to try and like rile me up instead of just talking about the common ground or trying to figure out what. And they'll openly admit, oh, I don't actually agree with anything I'm saying, it's just I just wanted to see if you'd get mad. I'm like, why? Like, and I feel like that's what's kind of killing a lot of the camaraderie between a lot of anime fans. That's why we're getting a lot more hatred spewed for different communities. Like, granted, My Hero fans deserve to be bullied, but that's for a whole other reason. But I think if we are able to actually have these conversations without people devolving into monkey play, let's say, we would go back to just having people in different factions of anime fandoms without people hating each other. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that really does boil it down. And part of it comes from how the content space has changed, where there are a lot of people who do really good video essays now still about anime.
I agree.
I've had the privilege of meeting with and interacting with. But as far as like content creators moving away from it once you get to a certain size, that also comes from just people naturally grow out of niches.
Oh, I agree.
But and analysis videos, there's such a high bar for them now that you really have to be putting such a really creative spin on it to get them to do well. And there are a few people who still do fantastic ones. One really fun video essay I saw was about fan service by Lextorius.
Okay.
And you can still do that kind of content around anime. But the content space has evolved, which in turn has changed the conversation in fandoms that are associated with said creators. And that's especially the younger generation, because the younger generation does spend more time on YouTube.
They do. They also, I feel like, and this is what I was
Mm.
gonna say is like I think problem just with the younger generation in general, not just with the anime community of the younger generation or the new fans. They're very easily offended, triggered. Everything,
Mm.
all like anything you say anything slightly wrong, and like they immediately shut down. They don't really know how to handle confrontation, and
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna get into that one.
yeah,
That's a can of worms I would rather not
yeah,
open.
I'm not gonna go into it too much, but like I feel like that blades
Mm.
over into anime talk a lot, where it's like, oh, if
Mm.
you immediately, oh, I dislike your favorite anime, they're
But I
immediately just
also,
like, but I'm like, okay,
I
Yeah.
also feel like on the other side of that conversation, there's also a lot of people who have zero filter, um, who
That's me.
very, yeah. I mean, I think you have some, you still have
You
some
still have a
control of
filter.
like, you're able to decide what, like, you're not gonna hype up lollies, but we're not gonna get into that. That is a
I actually want
very,
to get into that. I actually want to get into that.
I do not want to. I will be here for 2 more hours actually bullying people, and I'd
I
rather not bully people.
I have one blanket statement that I want to say about like that though, like not defending
Fucking
lollies or
weirdos.
anything like that, but like, can we talk about how okay, it's weird for you to dislike 100-year-old per like for it's weird if somebody likes 100-year-old vampire if they look like they're young and even like anime standards everything looks not the right age. JoJo characters don't look like they're
Mm.
12. It's fine. But like holding it to that standard and you're going to be like, "Oh, well they look young and even though most anime characters look young, but 100-year-old vampire it's okay." That's weird. But
Mm.
it's okay for you to take a 30-year-old, reincarnate them into a 12-year-old body, and now have that 30-year-old mindset do things with other 12-year-olds.
Yeah,
That's
that's
okay,
weird. Yep,
because
that's weird.
that
But
that's all I want to say. I'm just like we're pick. I feel like we're picking in the wrong fight here.
I think
Being
about
very cherry picked.
my point of bringing that up is like
Mm-hmm.
it's at a very weird, the anime community is at a very weird crossroads, because you have it dividing into multiple sects,
Mm-hmm.
um of like, obviously you have the very devout VTuber fans, who are, I still do consider as part of the, because a lot of them are anime fans.
Most of them,
um
yeah.
then you have the shonen heads and the people who are like really into the mainstream stuff that's happening right now. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have the people who've been fans for a long time, and I'm somewhere in the middle of all three of those
And you
fucking
totally did not even include
buckets.
the shoujo lovers. Like, you
Sh-
completely
sh-
cut us
the
out from
show
existence, and
Listen,
everyone else
I have
does.
listen. You have to discriminate against the shoujo fans.
No,
Listen,
The
no.
shojo.
great Ina Q, my dear friend, is the face of
It's because there's only 5 shojo fans. Nobody cares.
yeah. No,
Excuse
I
y'all.
I
There's
no
way
I
more than five
I
of us.
consider,
We have 5 anime next
I will
season.
say,
Let us live.
I was thinking of the shoujo people, but I
Mm,
actually tend to group
mm,
the shoujo fans closer to the longtime fans,
Mm-hmm.
because in
yeah.
my experience with shoujo fans, they usually got into it at a younger age, uh, or they're an anomaly. Again, I have a very limited experience with shoujo because I'm a shonen head. But I think like the way I group it in my head is like older fans, and then shoujo fans are somewhere in there of like it's almost like a graph. Like, in like video games where you have the skill chart,
Mm-hmm.
like the stat chart, and then you have like you move with a dot one way or the other. It's like it's closer to the older fans than it would be the VTuber section or the uh shonen blockhead mainstream section.
It's a Venn diagram. Some things overlap, most of them don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there probably should be a fourth section, but I haven't really decided what that is. Maybe we'll give the shoujo fans
We are the
a
fourth
place.
section because
You
that's
know
a
what? You know
very,
what?
very big portion
I
of the anime manga community.
guess I guess you guys can be people too. I guess.
Give the 6 shoujo fans their own circle, okay? It's fine.
I need to tell Ina about this conversation. I'll make her see it.
So this brings me into a great point of me answering your question that I didn't get to answer.
Oh yes, please, Shio, the formal co-host of this podcast, contribute. I've hijacked. I'm sorry.
As I have lost my voice. The
I feel that.
So one of the things I've noticed that's changed a lot in the anime community over the years is I feel back a while, like a long time ago, and like early, well, at least from what I noticed, is there was a lot more conversation where people actually listened
Yeah.
and would pay attention to what people were saying and would actually have these conversations that actually meant something, and it would feed back and forth, and people would listen. They wouldn't necessarily agree, but people would listen and understand. Now granted, that's not everyone. There's always that one Evangelion fan who just does not listen to anyone. um, but
Or Dragon
um,
Ball. Don't forget about the crayons.
oh, I won't forget about them. But they but as like it gets more mainstream and over like the years, the bigger it gets, the less listening there is, and a lot of it's just talking to people and everyone just talking but not really listening. So when someone's like, "Hey, so there's this thing that's going on," people and like this is the nuance or this is why people don't listen to it and they just talk over it, burying something that's probably really important to the conversation. Um, and it's not always like one person that's getting buried. It's like a bunch of different people who get buried for all certain things. Because no one listens. They're all too busy kind of Cyan said it's kind of like an echo chamber, but it's the very it's the people who like talking and don't like listening that are getting echoed. It's not
Hey,
the
I feel
people who
called
are
out.
it's the people
So.
who aren't listening um and learning like what they like. It's not if I phrase it this way, you're gonna think it's about diversity, but what I mean, it's like listening to different people's opinions as to why something's good, something's bad, from all different sectors of the anime community. Because you
Yeah.
used to be able to go to like a con and you could come out with it with something new that you didn't know about before, something that was enlightening, something that was like, oh wow, that was like neat. Maybe I'll check this out because I never thought about checking this out before. And I don't feel like you get that experience often anymore at cons. Like now it's just kind of like you go there, you know exactly what you're gonna get because you're going to this event because that's exactly what you want, and no one's there to listen to anything new and to expand upon what they want to learn.
I think to get the thing you want, like I had a very interesting conversation the last con I went to with one of the guys who worked there who just came up and started a conversation, or I guess didn't work there, but he's volunteering.
Yeah.
And he came up and he started a conversation. And I didn't go to cons pre the rise. My first con was right before the Otakon that I saw you at,
Okay.
Cyan.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a month before that. And this was the last con I went to. The guy came up and we talked about just obscure. He was like trying to get me to watch obscure anime, and I think it's because I look young. Maybe he's like trying to talk about like, oh yeah, get the future generation on it. I'm like, bro, I have a beer in my hand. um, but you leave and you're like, okay, maybe I will check that out. And that is something that's so cool. And I wish I had like found this way earlier before it had blown up. But also now that it's blown up, it's awesome because it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I could talk to my IRL friends about it uh when I was watching Naruto, Fairy Tail, and SAO for the first time when I was 14, 13. I couldn't talk to anybody about it.
Nope.
Except for
Yeah.
my best friend who got me into SAO and Naruto.
It's been
So,
a struggle with like conversation for sure, because like you got into it when you're younger still, and I've been my first con was in 2007, 2006 or 2007.
mhm.
I'd have to look at the batch. So when I first started going to cons, most of them were really small. And like
Yeah.
Shio said, you could just go in there and learn about new shows. And most of what I was learning was generally from like I would see somebody in a cosplay and I would go and talk to them and we would share anime recommendations, stuff they'd never heard of, things I'd never heard of, and I'd go home and I'd watch new shows. That's how I learned about Vampire Night. Like I found a fucking hot dude that was cosplayed as Karen, Karen, creepy brother, uncle, husband, person,
Kaname.
Kanami, that one. Um, like he was cosplaying as him, and I was talking to him for a bit, and I went and watched it. And the next con I went to, I was cosplaying as Vampire Knight. But I did. I can't comment a lot on whether how much like cons have changed because one, there became a point where a lot of my con going was very focused on cosplaying and just hanging around my group of friends, and I didn't interact with people. Like I would try occasionally, and I'm very good at like starting up conversations with random people on the con floor, but I didn't try as much as I used to. I guess I was very much of like I would start a conversation with a stranger to make my friends talk to the stranger so they would make new friends. It was less of me making new friends. Because I've always been the social one in my group.
Mm.
And our friend group would expand and stuff, and it never that group just rarely ever talked about anime, to be honest. Like my group of friends that I went to con was with, the most I think we ever talked about any kind of anime related project was we spent like 6 hours talking about Ruby, and that was about it. And that's because we were doing a Ruby cosplay group at one point. And then outside of that, like I had gotten more into the party scene of conventions, so I was still going to some panels, but I wasn't going to as many as I used to. And my convention experience itself was changing, so I don't know if the convention experience changed or just what I chose to do changed, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
I hear that.
can't comment on that because what I chose to do as I got older changed, and now like going to Anime Expo and going to Otakon. I was sad Otakon I didn't get to go to any panels. I kind of only went there to meet people, but I was only there for a day any fucking way. Anime
Yeah.
Expo, like me and Shio hit up so many fucking panels between the two of us. We like Shio hit more than I did, but like
I'm a panel goer. I go to panels. I'm not as social at cons. But I strike up conversations at panels.
Oh, I'm so fucking social. I'm like, I'm sitting there in line. I'm talking to everybody around me. I'm in but pushing myself into conversations with the people around me. I'm like, I'm a social fucking butterfly. I have no problems like doing that, and I kind of find that my main focus, which means I should probably use that more to my advantage with networking instead of just like, hey, let's talk about anime. Oh, your favorite anime is Demon Slayer. Bye. But you know,
less judgment and more, hey, why? Like,
yeah,
open up that conversation. But
right.
yeah,
I think that's why I don't get any
that's
conversations going.
that's my take on cons is like now they're an excuse to meet friends, but they're also sometimes they feel like a chore because you do feel like you have to be talking to people and meeting new people.
I love it though.
But
Like I'm an introvert and I love it.
I'm all about industry. I have to hit this one, hit this one, hit this one, hit this one. I am on a shopping spree and a like panel spree. I'm like, I need to hit everything on my list.
Oh my god.
I just like hanging with friends, causing chaos around dealers hall, and it's different going to local cons. Like most of my cons I've gone to are like in my city, with
I
like
love local
two of my
cons.
IRL friends. The most fun I have at cons and it's no contest. I love my IRL friends. I love them. They're
Mm-hmm.
great. Two of them are my brothers. I go to one of them. I've known him like 10 years. I'm going to a con soon with. I'm taking one to his first con and going to one, the same one with two other guys who are
Nice.
I've gone to for a while. But by far the most fun I have is the ones where, hey, you gotta wake up at 6 a.m. and have, this is not a vacation, motherfucker. This is a go, go, go. Um so the AXs and the two AXs I've done in the TwitchCon.
Yeah.
Um were you guys at the latest TwitchCon? Did
I
I hear you
was.
mention TwitchCon?
She
Huh.
was. I wasn't.
Yeah, I was there.
Did
I did not
we
see
run
you.
into you? Okay, okay. I know why. It's because I didn't go to the actual con. I just stayed in the I was
My
doing
God.
homework. I was doing
Damn.
homework.
Oh my God.
Alright.
Yeah, I
But
was
yeah.
there. I ran into a lot of people. And it was fun. Like that's very much a networking con for me. I did a lot of just
Oh
like
yeah. Oh yeah.
meetups and stuff. So, I mean, it's not like
Uh-huh.
they have a lot of very intriguing panels at TwitchCon. Just a lot of sponsorship opportunities.
I had a badge, so literally on my way to the airport, my Uber driver was a G, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll stop you by the con. What do you need? And I'll just wait for you, and you can continue." And I was like, "Dude, you're getting
Oh,
a fat tip." I literally
nice.
ran out, got my badge, left, didn't go inside the con, and went to the airport. I
Oh
wanted a
my God.
trophy though.
Nice.
I bought the con, but one of my friends couldn't get a badge in, and they also had to do homework. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Well, I'm not just gonna leave you here.
God.
Like, I'll just do homework too."
Oh my God.
So
Damn, couldn't even come say hi again.
yeah, I know it's tragic.
All right.
But yeah,
Well, we have been going for almost 2 hours. As
Hell
fun as all
yeah.
the controversy has been.
let's
Uh,
go.
we appreciate having you on.
Controversy.
Where can they find your stuff at? Where what are
Uh,
your plugs? Shill yourself. What do you do?
Go follow Lettuce Eating Walrus on YouTube. You know, he does some pretty cool stuff occasionally. Once he put spoilers in his thumbnail and title, but it's fine. He's past that arc. He did, he did it one time and made people mad, but mainly YouTube. I plan to post a lot more in the new year. I finally am able to balance school and content,
Let's go.
and um, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff cooking. Uh, Yeah, all of my other shit I don't really use anymore. So,
Unfortunate.
yeah.
Shio, where can they find you at?
Hi, you guys can find me mostly at. Wow, I sound awful. Um, you guys can mostly find me at Lady Shio on Twitter. I sometimes, occasionally stream on Twitch under Shurins, and I have my YouTube that I never upload to, which is Shori Suramiya. Cyan, where can they find you?
I am Cyan Kincaid on all platforms, Twitter and Twitch. I stream very frequently now. All our links will be down in the description of wherever you're finding this. You can find our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. And you want to find any updates regarding our podcast, we have a Twitter at RiceConPod, or X, if you want to call it that. I don't fucking know.
No.
No. All updates regarding this podcast, as well as the Digimon Conflict podcast that I run on the side, will be on there. And we'll catch y'all next time. Thank you for joining us, Lettuce.
Of
Thank
course, of
you.
course.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Follow your dreams.
One Piece is real.